So there is one famous saying in UP and Bihar that अगर IAS बन गए तो 7 पुश्तें सवर जाएंगी. You have heard correct. It means that if a person from a family becomes an IAS officer, he can improve the life of its seven generations. Getting into IAS is dream of many aspirant. Lakhs of aspirant are studying hard, toiling every day to be in IAS. But today, on 31st March of 2026, a IAS officer from UP Cadre belonging to 2022 batch, IAS Rinku Singh, he belonged to Dalit family. He resigned from this job. You would say, is he mad? Belonging to a middle class family, a Dalit background, an IAS officer, and he resigned. Why would a person do that? And this is the question which stuck in my mind. It stuck with me. That many people, many aspirants are working every day to reach where he was, and he simply resigned. He became an IAS officer in 2022. He still has many opportunities. Then why he resigned? This is the question which stuck in each and every person's mind. And do you know that if I tell you his story, it is the story of a hero, a real hero. Trust me. IAS Rinku Singh, he cracked IUPPCS, that is Uttar Pradesh Provisionary Civil Services exam in year 2009. He became the SDM of Muzaffarnagar there, and while being a PCS officer, he basically overcovered the corruption of 100 crore rupees in Muzaffarnagar. He exposed the corruption of 100 crore rupees in Muzaffarnagar, which is a very phenomenal thing. Being early into the family, being very early in your career, you expose such a big corruption in your city. It requires lot of hard work, it requires lot of intelligence and many things, and he did it. And in return, what he got, imagine. You might be thinking a medal, a promotion, an increment, recognition. Of course he got recognition, but let me tell you what he got in return. He got 7 bullets. Yes, you have heard right. He got 7 bullets in Muzaffarnagar in 2009. But this incident didn't break his spirit. He continued to do his service. He continued to serve people of Uttar Pradesh. And in year 2022, he cleared UPSC with a 63 rank. He got All India rank 63 in UPSC examination. He became an IAS officer. Imagine earlier he was a PCS officer. In order to become an IAS officer, he required at least 16 years to reach there, and he got there in year 2022. Everything was going good. A PCS officer turned an IAS officer, serving in UP Cadre, serving for the same people, serving with same passion, with same zeal, without any hatred in his heart, doing his duty. He got posted in Shahjahanpur as sub-divisional magistrate, and there he was doing his work very properly. One day he encountered a man there. Now that man was basically a mulazim of a famous lawyer, and he was peeing on street. Now it now this act is against the public hygiene. It is a constitutional breakdown, because he was violating, uh, he was he was not he was not he was dirting the streets of streets. That is why he made that person to sit up, do up and down in the on the street itself. Now this attracts a lot of praise, a lot of anger, a lot of supporters. He experienced mixed of emotions. And at the end of the day, because that person was belonging to a very good family, he had a very good relations, he had very good connections, all lawyers turned against him. Even the MLAs and MPs were against Rinku Singh. Imagine an IS officer whose duty is to basically protect, to basically, it is his duty to clean the to keep the city, keep his city clean, and it is his duty basically to punish that person. Maybe that punishment was illegal, but still what he was doing, it was a it maybe it was against the law, but but was in the favor of public welfare. This punishment is basically, it is a life example of consequentialism. Now what does it mean to be a consequentialism? Now consequentialism is basically a philosophy which basically tells you that if you're going on a path, whenever you have to choose between means or ends, what you have to choose. If you, let's say, if I tell you that, can you make a tasty biryani for me? Now you will say, yes, I can make it for you. Now in order to make it perfect biryani, what you will do? Maybe you will see the process. Somewhere if the biryani got burned in somewhere else, you may order it from the online. Of course it's illegal, because I had a lot of cravings for biryani, so you want to make me want to eat a good biryani. That's why you ordered it from somewhere and you gave me a very good experience. So that is the example of consequentialism, where you're not focusing about the means, that what kind of path you are following, but rather you are following your whole focus is on the ends, that at the end I will get a good result. This is consequentialism, and this is what Rinku Singh did in his case. His philosophy was very clear, that yes, I am doing something illegal, maybe it's not in my hand, it's not, my actions are not good to give any physical punishment to any person, but if I did not do that person, do that thing, it gives a very negative message in the society. What is that? It gives a very bad message in the society. That's why in order to improve the public attitude, I have to do that thing. That was his thinking. It's very clear, it's very simple, and it's very good, and that's why he did it. And in return, what he got humiliation, he got many eyebrows turned against him. Still he did not lose his courage, lose his willpower. He continued to do his service. But now the news was coming that from the past 8 months, he was not getting a job. He was not getting any work, which is against the basically, it is a violation of natural justice. It basically shows that, it basically sets a bad example in front of other officers, that if you want to do a good thing in society, you cannot do it because of political interference, connections, rulings, and many things. That's why he took a very bold decision. He decided to resign from his service, and on 31st March of 2026, he resigned. So from this whole process, from his whole journey, what we can learn about it? Let us classify it. from the first case, from Muzaffarnagar, what we can learn from it. Now, in this Muzaffarnagar case, he showed two most important values. Number one value that he showed is ethics. He showed the integrity. He can clearly say, he has the power, he has the leverage to basically take some share, to do some corruption, and also he has the power to basically earn some money, basically use of second hand money, and give his family a better life. But he didn't do that. He shows a very good example of integrity, of choosing. Integrity means doing right even when no one is watching you. That is integrity, and he showed it. Number two thing that he showed is that courage. Now, second ARC, second Administrative Reform Commission, has written that an officer must show courage. He must speak with power in front of institutions, and that's why he showed it very beautifully, very bravely. From this Lawrence incident, he showed the example of emotional intelligence. He understands that if he took any other method, it will not give an impactful message in the society. If he had many options at that point, like he can choose legal remedy, go to the high court, a subordinate court, and it is in the process of law, but they are very slow in procedure. Red tapeism is there, and that's why a strong message cannot be forwarded in the society. He can do a written complaint against that person, but again, there might be a chances that this complaint get ignored by the higher officials. So that is why he took a very bold step to made him sit up in the public. Now, when he does that, a message is forwarded in the society that such kind of things are not acceptable in this district. But again, what he got in return of that, he got suspension, a silent suspension, not a full loud suspension, rather a silent suspension, where he was not getting any work for 8 months. Now, it is the wastage of taxpayers' money. It is basically example of chilling effect, which gives a very wrong message in the society among the fellow officers, that if you want to do a good work, you cannot do it. Now, this Rinku Singh case is an example of, it's a case of individual ethics and system pressure. What do you think? This designation is a good thing or not? What's your thought on it? Let me know in the comment section. Moving towards our second topic of the day. So our second topic is about FCRA bill. So a buzz is there in the country regarding FCRA. There is a quotation that a democratic state like India must regulate foreign influence. It's a necessity, which is true. What does our preamble says? Preamble says that India is a sovereign, socialist, secular republic and democratic country. Now, there are two most important words out there, that is sovereign and democratic. And this FCRA bill is basically about these two words only. What does it mean to be a sovereign? Now, sovereign means that any country has the right, is free to take its internal as well as external decisions on their own. Their decisions are not influenced by any other foreign power. Their decisions, whether it's internal or it is external, is their own decision. That is sovereignty. And what if I tell you that there is something going on in our country which is violating our sovereignty? It is doing under our and our nose. What will you say about this? Yes, it is happening through funding. Now, funding. Let's say you are an NGO. You have an NGO which works for women education, for women empowerment. You have so many ladies, so many girls, so many employees are working for the women empowerment. You get global recognition at international forums. You get applause from many countries, and in a way you also got some money also of funding to run that NGO. Because what is it? NGO, non-governmental organization. You're working for social welfare, but it is not a part of government. You're doing it independently. And in order to run any organization, what do you need? We need money for that. From where do we get money? From where does NGO get money? NGO get their money through funding, through national, through international funding. This is their means of getting funding. Now, what if a foreign funding is giving you money on the name of opening a school for the girls' education? But in a way, they're telling you that this law or this thing is not correct in your country. It can hamper our country. So you must do some protest or something so that this law, this thing cannot be implemented in your country. Because of this thing, we have it is this law or any governmental law or act or anything is basically hampering our growth. So we are giving you money to do protest. Please do protest against the government. We are giving you the money on the name of government, on the name of opening a school, and you receive the money and you start doing it. So in a way, a person sitting in Europe, America, Saudi, another is basically influencing our narratives. It's basically influencing our ideas. That's how our sovereignty is disrupted. Now, this whole mechanism is known as deep state funding, and this has become a fifth generational warfare instrument. Earlier, when we have to fight against any country, what we did, we used military, we used artillery, tanks. But now, whenever we have to do any war of country, we are using foreign funding, cyber attack, hacking, such kind of things in order to weaken that state. This is what we are doing. This is our new instrument. This is new age instrument, new age fifth generational warfare instrument. And that is why such scenario cannot be happened in our country. To protect our sovereignty, India has proposed FCRA bill. Now, what does it mean to be an FCRA bill? Now, FCRA means Foreign Contribution Regulating Act. Now, it was enacted in 1976. It came into force in 2010. And since 2010, it has been amended 3 times. In year 2016, in year 2018, and in year 2020. The main objective is clear. The objective is to regulate foreign funding inflows, protect national interest and sovereignty. This bill specifically tells you that NGOs or religious organizations, whenever you get any money, you can use these funds for your cultural, economic, educational, social and religious things only. Other than that, you cannot do it. But many NGOs basically use it in many other illegal or inappropriate activities. On paper, it seems that they are building hospitals, they are building schools, it is for the social empowerment. But deep down, They're using that fund to act against India, to break India, to disrupt law and order in our country. For these are the things this money is being used. That's why in order to stop this, we have to brought this bill. Now what does FCRA bill of 2026 says that? Now this 2026 bill, it basically brings accountability, transparency, and as well as it brings a lot of centralization also. Now this bill is basically protects our national interest and a wholesome way to stop these fundings. What are the key features of this feature bill? The key feature is that they, according to this FCRA bill, there will be a, they have made a position, they have made a designated authority under the, which is the member of a center only. He will oversee the funds and the assets of all NGOs. All NGOs must disclose their funding and assets to that person. There are some changes have been done in registration, in cancellation, and in expiration of NGO. Also, it talks about asset management, that a government will take all your assets for temporary times and permanently also if NGO is defunct, if it found that it is found in illegal weaponries. So the main concerns by NGOs is that this such kind of a law, these are more centralized. There is a risk of state overreach. Second concern that many oppositions are stating, that NGO may lose assets due to procedural lapses, and there is a fear of targeting minorities also. This is what this law states that. Now, in a way, this law basically stops no sub-granting. It stops money trial. It brings accountability and transparency. One viewpoint is that it makes India more smarter, more aware. Because your data, your people, your unity is your biggest asset in this world. And you cannot afford to lose that. On the other hand, oppositions are saying that it is state overreach. Now the question is about, is this bill is about regulation or this bill is about expropriation? This bill is basically snatching the independence of NGOs and religious minorities. So the question is about the national interest versus civil society interest, because NGOs are formed under Civil Society Act. So what we should prioritize? Obviously national security, but at the same time, India is a democratic country. India is an independent country where a person has the right to privacy also. Article 21 is also involved. Article 43 is also involved. National interest is also involved. So what do you support? What do you think? Is this bill is right? Is this bill is correct? What are your viewpoints on this bill? Let me know in the comment section. Now, I would like to end this video by today's quote. So today's quote states that do not believe enough to a friend who betrays somebody. Even if he betray for you, do not believe him, because it says that if you betray somebody or if you lie to somebody, it is your character to do that thing. Even if they have done it for you, they can use this against you one day also. So use your brain and do not be too over friendly with that friend. with that person. I'm leaving you here on that note. I will come back tomorrow with a new news headline, with a new news discovery. Till then, stay happy, stay safe, and tell me about your views. Bye bye.